Hello, I am Bentham and welcome back to Factorio, where we are now in the 0.11.1 update, as you can see by the character now being yellow and armoured and stuff like that. So yeah, I decided to start using this update. I know I missed a couple of episodes this week, which was a combination of not being sure whether to start with update 11 or not, and also just being lazy. So anyway, the first thing I do today is go over to Copper and see how things are going there. And it was a problem that I had at last episode, where at the end the copper supply wasn't enough, and it was because the ore supply wasn't enough. And the reason for that turns out to be that the belts can't handle the amount that I'm trying to send through them. So I quickly make my way back over to the production line so that I can grab some express belts to quickly just speed things up so that there's enough that can fit on the belt. But while I'm here, I spot that it's really dark and I can't see, so what I do is make a bunch of lights and just plonk them about the place, because it's something I keep forgetting to do, and it means that you can't see what's going on at night, and that's terrible. So I just quickly sort of wander around, put lights wherever it looks like I might need them, so that you can actually see what I'm doing in future. I think I put a good 20 lights out in the end. But anyway, once that's done, we can go back. But I just quickly check the all of the module stuff first. And the thing is, at the moment, all of the level 1 efficiency modules are being turned into level 2s, and that might be a bit of a problem later, because we need level 1s for like mining drills and stuff like that. And that is what we're working on right now, as it happens. I also got a couple of level 3 productivity modules, but not enough yet to get the science system operating again. For now, it's still a bit dead. So anyway, we've got some blue belts now, and I start like inspecting the system and working out where I need to put them. You can see everything's building up on one side, the left side, and I do a couple of things to try and fix that, but I miss a lot of the tricks with that while I'm working on this. I'm a bit blind to sort of the problem of I need to make things even out on either side of the belt, and the problem is that there's various points on the belt where everything gets put onto the left side, and that needs fixing. But I don't notice this, so I just start plonking blue belts around the place, and then I noticed that actually one of the changes that has happened in 0.11 is that express splitters now require lubricants to make, so you can't craft them in your inventory anymore, which means I'm going to have to go set up a production line for that, which is a bit annoying, but it makes sense, because you can't make express belts without an assembler, so why should you be able to make all of the other kinds of express belt stuff out just in your hands? You can still make the underground belts without an assembler. I wonder if that's intentional, because it means that you can't do the fiddly stuff that you can do with some belts, but you can still sort of transport things over long distances, even if you don't have an assembly machine working on making more of those or whatever. But anyway, I've wandered over back to the old copper just to see how things are going there, get rid of a couple of old mining drills, and then I go check up on the iron, and I see that one of the furnaces has run out. And in fact, the only reason that all the furnaces haven't run out is because the steel has actually filled up. The steel has backed up all the way to the assemblers, the furnaces, and shut them down. So I suppose that's a good thing, because it means that we don't need more steel production yet, though we do need to move that over to the new smelting area. We need to set up a system for that. Though I realised after setting up the new smelting area that the system I usually use isn't going to work. I usually have the steel production going horizontally along the top of the lines of furnaces, but this time all of the conveyor belts are going out this way, so they'd be in the way. So I'm not really sure where to put it, actually. Maybe I could put it behind, but I'm planning to put a load of rails there. But anyway, we're having an attack. Biters are attacking the new copper mine, so I quickly take them out, but not before they manage to destroy a good 7 of our mining drills and all of the conveyor belts supplying them as well. So I get this rebuilt and I get everything set up again, and luckily I can use all the ghost images to just work out where everything was and replace it as it's supposed to be. Get that powered again. The thing is, it's annihilated all of the efficiency modules that I was using, which is annoying, and it means that I don't actually have any left. I think I've got 1 left or something at the end of this, something like that. And I get everything set up again, so that's all working and okay. And then I set up a couple of guns to help defend against any future biter attacks. I'm not really sure why they attacked, to be honest, because I don't think there's any bases within pollution range as usual, but they may be migrating. That's one of the common causes of unusual biter attacks, where they attack somewhere they don't usually do, or they attack when they just generally don't usually do. But yeah, what I decided to do is add in some more mining drills, because we still seem to have a problem here. And of course, the problem with that is that it may attract biters more if they are being attracted by the pollution. I'm not sure how. I forget how far my radars are covering. I think they are covering that area actually. So yeah, I should be able to see if there's any base there. But I do need to expand my radar network generally so that I can see more of the like what biter bases are fairly nearby. But anyway, I get all those mining drills hooked up, but I don't get them connected to the power because the problem is they need efficiency modules. Otherwise, they will be 5 times more polluting and energy consuming than normal. And with the biters having just attacked, I'm sort of I don't really want to do that if possible because that might get them really angry. So I go back and try and get some efficiency modules, but unfortunately they've all been turned into level 2s, so there's not much I can do there, and I decide to I disconnect that so that the ones will stay, and decide to go and investigate the little red blip that I'd spotted in the top corner, and it turns out that was just the corner of a new base. So it looks like that's something we should probably deal with, and seeing as I've got the time, I decided to start working on it. And what I do is I go into the science menu because there is some new science that we've got. So the first one is tanks, and any second now, and there it goes, pretty quick. And then gates, and there that goes. Not gates, that was walls, and now gates. Of course, with the science system being so so upgraded nowadays, like all the little sciences that we would have finished ages ago are now super quick to do. So I did gates in like a few seconds. But anyway, we're in the tank now. We built one and everything because we had all the supplies already. So I start making my way through the forest. A couple of biters attack. I don't have the cannon on this yet because I need to like set up an assembler for the shells. But what I do have is the machine gun and of course the armor of the tank. So I quickly take out the first spawner, try and take out the worms, and find out they're actually a bit too much of a match for me. So I can't really deal with them. So what I instead do is just sort of snipe the other spawner from a distance, and decide to leave the worms for now because I barely dented the one of the big worms, and it half destroyed the tank. So I make my way home, resupply, repair everything. And I'll have to go and deal with that later, maybe with a power suit instead. I mean, I didn't really test my power suit. Maybe my with the current shields that I have, it might actually fare better than the tank against the worms. But that's something to test later on. So anyway, the purpose of that jaunt has been served because I have a bunch more efficiency modules now. They've built up in the chest, so I can go around and supply all of these. Unfortunately, I don't have. Oh, and there goes gates being researched as well. Then I get it back to the old system of waiting for the alien science to be ready again. So I've got all the efficiency modules in, so I connected up to the power. 2 of the mining drills don't have the full 3 in, they have 2 in instead, but that's not too much of a problem, and I will deal with that shortly. So I just have it going for now. So now we need to work out how to even out the belts. Now it's even worse. Now I've got like another 8 mining drills on, or whatever it is. So I decide to sort of do some tweaks to like where the ore comes out, and try and just get it so that things are being delivered equally to either side of the belt, as well as putting in a lot more fast belts and everything. Anyway, I managed to block the system weirdly by having 2 things feeding onto the right at the same time, and they seem to block each other, which I don't really notice, and I don't really understand when I see it. I'm a bit confused as to what's going on with it. So I just sort of pick them up to sort of clear out the way, and that seems to fix it. So I'm not sure what that thing was really. It was a weird sort of blockage that you can get with belts. Maybe I'll do some experimenting with it later to find out what on earth the cause was, because it was a weird one. But anyway, I'm just sort of inspecting things, seeing how fast it's emptying, moving things around, and sort of tweaking what sides of what belts things go onto. To try and get it going fast enough. Of course, I could just put blue belts over everything, and that would be a better solution. And I do go back to the actual smelting bit and put a few more blue belts in there, just to see how that goes. And then I go back and sort of watch how it works. And I don't know why I don't just like lay the whole thing down with blue belts, because that would fix the whole problem. But anyway, it looks like things are mostly fixed now. And going back to the base, you can see that actually no, but it's close. Like 2/3 or more of the circuit production is going, and that's enough in my book. So I'm just going to leave it there for now, I think. So anyway, I go back and check on modules and see if all of the level 3 productivity modules have been made yet, and not quite. And one of the reasons is that there's a limited capacity in the assembler, and what I need to do is set up a chest for it, which I've forgotten about for a bit. But anyway, I've got some more efficiency modules. I've continued to let the level 1s build up, and you can see I've got one of the the labs filled up with the productivity modules now, but I want to have 2 filled up before I start working on the system. But anyway, in the meantime, what I decided to do is work on logistics. It is long overdue, logistics. I've been meaning to do this for like a good half dozen episodes, because it's a pain to resupply myself all the time with all of the random bits off the belts. And it would be much better if I could get some robots to do it for me. And also, you need them for some sort of production lines, really, because some of the fiddly stuff like needs really awkward combinations of materials, that sort of means that the system that I use sort of breaks down, the parallel processing idea, because suddenly you'd need belts along the central trunk for literally everything, and that's ridiculous. So what I'm doing here is I'm setting up a buffer chest for batteries, and I'm extracting a couple there, because what I'm doing is I'm making the first few logistics bots. Annoyingly, the flying robot frames take 1,000,000 years to make, so it's not really sensible to make 50 of them myself. So what I do is I make 5 with the intention of setting up a logistics bot production as one of the first things that will be supplied by those first logistics bots. And then that will make some more, and then we can get the system up to some good numbers like 50 or 100 or whatever, so that they can keep me supplied all the time. But anyway, once those are made, I can start working on putting down the actual the Roboports. And the thing about that is that usually what I do is I just plonk one down and then extend from there and see how that goes. But it gets annoying because you end up with really awkward bits and little squares that you have to fill in, and everything overlaps. So what I decided to do this time is put a lot more thought into it, and I start planning out exactly where I'm going to put these Roboports so that they sort of synchronize and like line up perfectly. But I get distracted because we have a biter attack, another one, 2 in an episode. That doesn't happen often, and when it does, it usually means we need to go kill some biters. This time it's happened on the new iron mining outpost, so I quickly check on things there, resupply the guns, and really I need to move them because these guns were put in when I originally made the base, I think, and the base has sort of shifted as the deposit has been mined away, but yeah, whatever. So I resupply them, and it looks like not much happened. One of the guns got a little bit damaged, but as long as I keep everything fully supplied on ammo, there shouldn't be any problem, I don't think. So now I'm just sort of trimming the edges on this, getting rid of all the old mining drills that have run out, wait for one that was just about to get rid of that. Just missed the train on the way home, so I just have to walk instead. So I get back and can continue working on things. I've got a bunch of random copper ore in my inventory that I can just empty out, and I also have I can fill up those mining drills with the remaining efficiency modules now. And I decided to just put blue belts and everything, because I should have done that before and I couldn't be bothered. But I actually run out of blue belts, so I just steal some from a different part of the line so that I can get the going all the way down to the actual smelting area. And hopefully that should be a big help. And you see that stuff empties out a lot, and then it all starts filling up over in the smelting area, which is good. All the belts are completely full, which means that it's running as fast as it can. But the thing is, going back to the main production line, you can see it's not supplying circuits fully still. And in hindsight, I realised that what I need to do is put more furnaces in, because that was my usual solution. I just sort of forgotten about that. If all the furnaces are working fully and it's still not supplying enough, then obviously you need more furnaces. But anyway, what I'm doing now is going back to the Roboport stuff, and I'm trying to work out where to put them so that they don't get in the way of any of my scalable production lines, because I don't want, if any of them need to be scaled later on, then it'll be a pain to do that if there's a Roboport in the way. So I'm just sort of working out the position. I work out the horizontal, and then I work out the vertical, and then finally I'm ready to actually put in the final one. So that's the system I'm going to use, and then I start extending it down into a square. There's a couple of trees to clear away, and there we go. And then over to this area over here to put in the other corner of the square. And there we go, we've got as efficient as it could possibly be. All of the Roboports are touching with edges and not overlapping or anything silly like that. So that's good, it's efficient, and I'm happy about it. And hopefully I can continue with that, because this was sort of like the messiest area. So now that this bit's been covered, I can just expand it out before I build production lines so that I can work around the Roboports, which is the better way to do it. So anyway, I put down the 5 logistic spots that I have, and now it's time to work on the production lines the various new production lines that I'll need. And unfortunately, with the ones that I decide to do, I need to make something before I make that, and I need to make something before I make that as well, because of the way things have turned out. For example, basically the first thing I need to do is express splitters, because you need those. They're sort of important when your system uses express belts. So I decided to work on that first, and then next I'll work on logistics bots production. So the logistics bots can supply their own production and then get everything working and get it all supplied and so on. So I need to work out where to build this new express belt thing. Unfortunately, I can't build it next to the normal express belts. The splitters have to be on a different bit, because of course I didn't know that I would need to do this production line when I set things up, obviously, because the update wasn't out yet. So I'm now having to sort of build it on an extra bit. So annoyingly, the system requires quite a few different things. In the end, there are 4 different assemblers I'll need, and then there are 4 different materials I'll need, and then each assembler uses a different combination of these 4 materials to make their product, and then the product gets passed on to the next one. So I end up having to have 2 belts with stuff on either side. I was about to put it on the right, but I realised it works better if I put it on the left, because I'll need more, because it needs long-armed inserters otherwise, and that's a pain. In hindsight, I realised I could have actually had the belts going on either side of the assemblers, because usually you'd have something going on like the right side and come out on the left side, but in this case it's being passed upwards to the next one, well downwards in this orientation. So thinking about it, I should have put it on either side, and then everything could have been fed by blue, fast inserters instead of long-armed, but whatever, I can do that in future designs. So anyway, you can see me putting in all of these various combinations of inserters. Each time it's different, because like the conveyor belts needs gears and iron, and then the next one needs iron and circuits, and the next one needs circuits and gears, and then the next one needs like gears and advanced circuits. It's a bit annoying, but I get the system set up and working and so on, except for the actual supply of lubricant. And there's the thing, when I set up the lubricant system, I thought I was only going to be supplying 2 things, that being electric engines and express belts. Now it turns out there's a 3rd thing, and I was entirely unprepared for that. So now I have to work out how to sort of route the supply through this extra bit of the system to try and get it connected up. And there was never any intention to do that, so it's a bit difficult to sort of get the positioning. Luckily, there is just enough room to get the belts going through the middle of the conveyor belt column, but I have to actually shift along the lubricant lines one to make it work, and then in order to make that work, I have to shift along the ammo production as well, which is also a bit annoying. But eventually, I work out a system that I can use, and I just need to make the pipes, get them connected up and along, put in all the corners and so on. And then once that's done, there we go, we have express belts being produced. So then I put in a chest to store them all, and then I start harvesting them as they come along. So there we go, we've got the express belts set up. So we shouldn't have any problem with that anymore. We just need to resupply, and then it does mean that we're going to have like a stack of them on us all the time, because we never know when we might need some more express splitters. So instead of just crafting them when I need them, I'm going to have to have them supplied in advance. It's going to be a bit annoying in future when I have to set up this system before I can have any express splitters, because usually I skip straight from not electronic, what I'm talking about, skip straight from standard belts to express belts. But with it being more difficult to get the splitters for them, I may need to do some fast splitters in the middle. Though it's not so much of a problem now, because I can then craft those into express belts, which you couldn't do before, I don't think. But anyway, I get all that sorted, and it's time to work on the next production system, and that will be flying robot frames going into logistics bots. Annoyingly, what it needs is, it needs circuits and steel, which is easy enough and nice and simple. It can just get them off the line. But then it also needs electric engines and what else is it that it needs? Batteries, which is annoying because neither of those go along the main line. In fact, I thought batteries would only have one purpose. Actually, no, 2 purposes, because it makes accumulators as well. But yeah, so what I do is I get a inserter, putting the circuits and the steel in, and then instead of trying to get conveyor belts transporting the other 2 things along, I set up a requester chest for them. So the chest will request 10 of each, and then the logistics bots will deliver them from the provider chest one of them I put in, one of them I haven't yet, and they will put those into the assembler. But what I need to do first is extend the logistics system, because I don't have the Roboports going quite far enough. So I put one in, and it turns out it is just out of range of the actual the chest there. So I have to put in the one above as well. But I basically run out of time. So yeah, I make my way back to the center, and I shall say goodbye. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.